alcohol stocks, what alcohol sector companies do you love? And I will say this: I do
Thank you,
not
Rashad.
agree with the alcohol industry. It's against what I believe in. It's like gambling to me. I
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
think
fair.
that it's extremely detrimental to everybody, but to marginalized communities even more. It impacts the poor, and it ruins families, and it ruins lives. But drink responsibly. I'm not an extremist, but I will lead with that's just my own personal opinion. I feel like it's been targeted to our community, over
By the
indexed,
time.
over indexed, and it's not helpful. I don't think that alcohol is helpful.
Mhm.
But having said that, that's my
So,
disclaimer.
so
What 5 companies would you invest in if you invested in
is
an
this
alcohol
is
company?
moral investing?
Yeah,
Well,
and
it depends on
morally,
what your morals are,
That's what
but
I'm at. That's what that
I
was like
yeah.
almost a disclaimer for.
that's just my own personal opinion.
Yeah.
Rashad, we gonna be twins. Three in a corner.
No emotions in this investing game. No, guy, you want to go?
No emotions, but we got to take a stance. I am the biggest Tupac fan walking earth. I do believe in karma. After Diageo did what they did, look where the stock is going though. We're gonna have another conversation about that derailment and how that fucking company got derailed after they did that to him. Anheuser-Busch wouldn't touch. Sam Adams, it was good during a recession or a great whatever they called during COVID. I wouldn't touch any of them. I think America is going through a shift where we all realize that alcohol is not good for your body, um, especially when it's targeted to our communities. And I get it. You can make the stance that, okay, every company on earth does something immoral. I get it. But when things are hyper indexed, like stuff with Palantir that could be alcohol, and I'll say with Robert Kennedy getting in, there's going to be a lot of changes to that food and drug industry, which needed to happen probably 20 or 30 years ago. So, as an entire sector, I don't want to touch. Don't want to touch. But I do want you to go look. Even as a Tupac fan, I'm still black first. Go look to see what their company after they took them out, which tells you the value of us promoting those brands and not having no equity in them.
Yeah.
That's what I
Yeah.
want to talk. All the Kiki and the Drake Kendrick. I want to always get back to public equities and private equities. When he got removed, that company fell apart. I haven't seen a Ciroc bottle float nowhere since.
Yeah. So they I mean, well, I'll go down all of them because when we talk about the recession and we talk about recession stocks, this sector never gets brought up. But if you look at all
No.
the highs in the companies we just named, Anheuser-Busch, Constellation Brands, Boston Beer, Diageo, they all had their highs in 2021 or 2022, which is that pandemic. Everybody's home. We saw alcoholism was spiking. The orders were going through the roof. And now it's just this harsh pullback. Anheuser-Busch, think about this. Year 2015 to the date, February 16th, Anheuser-Busch was trading at $123.37. Today, it is trading at $53.12. That's a 10-year span. It never got back over 120 in that 10-year span. That's
Granny,
Anheuser.
cover your ears. Piece of y'all can fill in.
Thanks, Granny. Thanks, Granny. Boston Beer, which I'm not really sure if I know anybody that consumes any of these beers, but again, this was in 2021. It was trading at $1,300.
I was looking at a point like, yes,
$1,300 a share. It is now sitting under $240. I mean, just drastic falls. Diageo, what you just spoke about, obviously what happened with the lawsuit, they take ownership back over Ciroc, right? They claim the other brand as well. But their portfolio is pretty vast, right? They got Casamigos, they got Dom P. They share Hennessy with LVMH. They share Moet with LVMH. But they've taken a hit, right? 221 was their high at 210. They're sitting at 107. So this is like, when we talk about the recession and some of the sectors that it helps, this was definitely one. We've seen a drastic pullback as people start to realize, hey, there's brands that are kicking us in the sorry, Granny, right? From non-alcoholic beverages, right? And we've seen that, and people making healthier choices when it comes to it. So shaky grounds right now for the alcoholic brands. But there was one guy who just invested in one of these companies by the name of Warren Buffett. For the first time, he invested in Constellation Brands, and so that was interesting. They are the owners of Corona. Yeah, and Modelo. So they own those two beer companies, Corona and Modelo, and he just invested in them. So interesting play.
Budweiser been trash and Stone Cold drinking them. Like,
well, we gotta see if they could go, if they might go through the same thing that the cigarette industry went through. I feel like not as bad. People's always gonna drink alcohol, but at some point in time, you have to understand that it causes cancer. We had cirrhosis of the liver, kidney failures, dementia. It's terrible for bad memory loss, weight gain. It's bad for you.
Fellas, some of y'all ain't performing well at night too because y'all drink too much. So I'm gonna get a shot of Henny and get to it.
Erectile dysfunction.
What? Gummy worm. Quit drinking the brown, my boy.
Too many Incredible Hulks, man.
So we're gonna have to see how this thing plays out. But drink responsibly.